Of all the hardware on the new BMW M5, and there is a lot of hardware on the new BMW M5, there is one piece of kit of which BMW engineers are particularly proud. It's a little black box that sits beneath the bonnet, and Dirk Hacker, BMW M Division's Vice President of Engineering, says that it is the real breakthrough. What they call the Central Intelligence Unit integrates the controls of all the new M5's hardware subsystems in one place. I think it's a bit like the one in the latest Ferrari 812 Superfast. It considers all of the inputs you're making, and all the feedback the car is giving it, to, Hacker says, control every subsystem governing lateral and longitudinal dynamics. An automotive one ring to rule them all. And in the M5, there is a lot of hardware to rule. The big headline is 592 bhp and a four-wheel drive system to deliver it, for the first time in an M5. Perhaps for the first time in a proper M car if you're disinclined to count X models, as I'm happy to. It's a variable 4WD system, with 3 modes of its own, and an active M differential at the rear, as on rear-wheel drive M cars. But there are more hardware and software systems than just these, too. Externally, this new M5 packages all of this kit together fairly subtly. Big arches and muscularity seem to be reserved for MS2, 3 or 4, but I don't think they've ever been present on an M5. Then it is an Executive Express, after all, and quite keen not to lose the executive part. Look closer, though, and the hints of the underlying performance are there. There are acres of cooling vents at the front. There's a diffuser flanked by quad exhausts at the rear. There are 19-ion or as likely, and as tested optional 20-ion wheels. And, in between all of those, there are some lightweight panels, aluminium in some places, and with a carbon fiber roof, useful not just because it reduces mass but because of where it reduces it, high, thus lowering the center of mass. The M5 is a 1,930 kilograms car, only about 15 kilograms lighter than the last one, but hey, weight loss is weight loss. The gearbox is now an 8-speed torque converter automatic rather than a dual-clutch DCT auto, which usually has the advantage of being slightly lighter. I think it matters here too because, for all the improvements in DCTs, a conventional auto is still more refined at low speed. Besides, pretty much as soon as you're rolling, they lock up these days, so don't really slush any energy anymore. Upshifts are quick enough for me on autos. DCTs have the next gear up engaged, so kickdown takes a while on those anyway, and, under braking, blipping the throttle means that to an extent it doesn't matter how fast downshifts are. So, as with, say, an Aston Martin, I think a full auto would probably suit an M5 anyway. What's it like? BMW decided that 592 bhp is too much for the rear wheels alone. However, as with most 4WD systems like this, it's largely rear-biased, so most of the time when you're driving, even in standard 4WD mode and with stability control fully on, this rear bias is what you get. Good. Ultimate driving machines ought not to have front-biased or 50/50 4WD systems because they'd promote understeer, given the front wheels have to turn and steer, and you can overwhelm them just with turning alone. It makes sense for a car with the supposed poise of an M5, then, to be predominantly rear-driven. Does this latest M5, then, have poise? Indeed. But also comfort, and varying degrees of both, owing to the fact that you can choose between all kinds of settings on the car itself. Which is more of an issue, given it effectively means the ultimate driving machine may have to have the ultimate arbiter of dynamics at the wheel. The gearbox hangs from the back of a 4.4-liter V8 engine, as in the previous generation M5, but there's quite a lot about it that's new here. It has new turbochargers and a higher injection pressure, 350 bar, incidentally, new cross-bank exhausts and a smaller, more efficient cooling system. The upshot, in addition to the 592 bhp at 5600-6700 rpm, is 553 pounds-foot at 1800-5600 rpm, because that's how big super saloon numbers are these days. 30 horsepower shy of a McLaren F1.